welcome to the channel. Welcome back to Authentically Being Ava. I'm Ava. So family, insecurity. I feel this is a good one. I always say that, but I do. This one is interesting and a little tricky, especially in adults. I know that I would imagine that we all have at some point in our lives experienced feelings of insecurity, self-doubt, not having confidence in something. I mean, these are things that we all experience. And a lot of these experiences that we had initially started in our childhood. And, we all know how childhoods are, like kids teasing you and making fun of you. And, we're also young and fragile in our mindset, not really quite knowing who we are yet. So some of those things really hurt us and bothered us. Some things we grew out of and some things just kind of stuck. And, fast forward into you becoming an adult, sometimes some of those things stuck with you. And this is what I feel like I'm experiencing as I go into what I'm going to explain, insecurity. And they could stem from, that negative talk that you get in your head sometimes. And unfortunately, most of the time it started with somebody putting something in your ear to let you know that you weren't worthy, that you weren't enough, that, you didn't have the aptitude to do that. And it could be, a parent, it could be a sibling, it could be, your friends, and so on. So a lot of that stuff sticks with us. And some of it is subconscious, where we just really don't even realize. And unfortunately, a lot of times we believe the lie, because a lot of times it was just a lie, and being a child, you just don't really know how to handle that. So we believe it, and you carry it on into, your adulthood, and then you're still having challenges around these same things. So family, I remember one girlfriend of mine told me, that, kids used to tease her about having a big head, so a big forehead. And she used to, and she still, to this, not to this day, but at the time that we spoke, she was still trying to cover up her forehead, always. And I always asked her, she was a client, and I always asked her, why do you feel that way? Why do you always need to have bangs? Why do you, and she said, what she said, because she had a big forehead. And I was like, but you don't, and again, a lot of times when we're kids can be mean and just say whatever because they're trying to get a laugh, and our kids will be kids. But we have grown so much from that period in time when we were adolescents. I mean, we have developed and grown these bodies and gotten taller, and, features filled out, and eyes popped, and hair grew, and all of that. So we're not even the same people that we were back then when all that stuff was going on. And most of the time, they were lies to begin with. So I'm saying all that to say that I think that we have a responsibility as adults. When we realize that we have some things that are eating at us or that are making us feel a certain way, it's our duty, I think, to handle that, to take care of that, not to push outwardly onto other people our insecurities about ourselves, things that, like I said, are probably not even true. Being a mean girl for no reason, because somebody has something that you don't, these types of things. I'm jealous about somebody's, appearance, or, items that they have, or whatever. It's just, and a lot of times people think, who act like this to others, they think that you don't see it. Some people don't, but some people are more aware and they can see it, especially if you have dealt with something similar in the past. You kind of identify, certain behaviors and patterns. And yeah, this is what I'm about to get into with this conversation. So family, let me give you a short story of what I have experienced. So a little backstory on me. I had started out my work life, career life as an entrepreneur, as a hairstylist. So I really was always kind of in charge of my business, so I didn't really have people over me that, were in charge, so to speak, and that could tell me what to do, when to do it, and all that stuff. I didn't really have that, so I didn't really experience any of what I'm talking about, for a number of years, a number of decades. I never felt that way towards other people. Sure, there are people that you met and in childhood and as well as adulthood who had more than you and all this, and I always thought, wow, that is so nice, but there's some people who look at you if you have things that they don't have, or may have an appearance that they don't have, or they may feel in some ways you are better than them. The secret competition thing that they are just waging against you, and it's just like, what is going on? I mean, like I said, most of the time people don't tell you how they think or feel about you, but you can pretty much tell by how people treat you and how they act and the things that they say out of their mouth. It can kind of form a story and an understanding about what you're dealing with. And so in this short story, family, so let me take you back to when I worked for this salon. I won't name the name. And I did have an experience, but it didn't affect me directly. So the salon was owned by a husband and wife team. The husband was an older man and the wife was a little younger. I was like in my 20s at the time. I'm gonna say like 21-ish, 22. I was pretty young. So the wife was about 30, maybe 35, and the husband was like in his 60s. He had the money, I guess, right? So anyway, long story short, family. So this particular day was a Saturday. And Saturdays, as many of you know, is a super busy day in the hair salon business. And so it was a packed house. We were all the stylists, we were all busy. Clients at the shampoo bowl, clients under the dryers, clients in the front waiting to be seen. Wow, it was a busy day. And so the owner, she had a booth right there in the front. And by the way, there's glass across the whole front of the salon, so you could see in there and out very easily. So all of a sudden, this red Mercedes pulls up with this big bow around it, and the horn, horns blowing. And everyone's, of course, looking like, who is that? So it turns out it was the owner's husband. And so he comes out the car with the keys in his hand like this, and he's running up in the salon and, in front of his wife. And he's like, baby, I just said, I'm gonna do something nice for my baby on our anniversary, and I just want to give you these keys to this car because you are my everything, and I love you. And I mean, it was just a whole soliloquy, family. I mean, he had a speech and a half, okay? And so, of course, all the women in the salon are like, oh my God, that is so beautiful. That is so nice. And I was too. I was like, that is so sweet. He went and did that. That was so nice. What a surprise. And I was like, that is so lovely. And I said, shoot, I want a husband to do that, for me someday. And so, yeah, and so I was, like I said, that was all cool. But this will trip me out, family, okay? This is her. This is the owner. Yeah, you are too good to me. That man is everything to me. He is all this and he did all that with me, And she's doing all that, and I'm just like, now that looked staged, okay? That looked crazy, but I just thought, she's extra. I mean, I understand being happy and glad, and I just thought that was extra. I don't know. I mean, him doing what he did with the car, that was beautiful, beautiful gesture. But her response was extra. And I just was like, now, she said, oh, I am just so happy. Oh my God, I love that man. He's you know. And I'm just like, man, okay. So fast forward about a few hours later, this one client, you know that was staged, right? I was like, what? I said, girl, I was in there with them the night before, helping them fill out the paperwork to purchase that car. I said, wait a minute. Both of them were in there last night filling out the paperwork. She said, yeah, and this was no surprise. I was like, well, why do all of that? And so this is what I'm talking about, family. People that like to put on false pretenses about their situation and about their life. And it's just like, what was the need to do all of that? What were the theatrics for? You know? We got a good laugh after that. I mean, I just thought, that is insane. Like, who cares what goes on in your household? If you have a happy life and everything, well, then that's beautiful. That's, we can all aspire, you know, to have that. But all of this extra, you know, all of the why? You know, and so the lady was like, she said, girl, the man he didn't even know how to write. She had to help him fill out the paperwork. He didn't even write clearly. He dropped out of the first grade, child. And I was like, okay. I know he was older, but dropping out of the first grade, is that even possible? I mean, you start school in the kindergarten, right? Or first grade. So how you dropping? I said, look, I'm not laughing. That is, I'm not. We're gonna go right past that, because that's crazy. And he in his 60s and he has not. Yeah, okay. So anyway, and you know, these things happen, you know, from what I understood back then. You know, when you lived in the South and you know, your family picked cotton and all that. So okay, it is what it is. But so that happened, and I just like chuckled and was like, isolated incidents, you know, people or something. That was, you know, some time ago. Flash forward to now, family. So I'm specifically talking about the working environment. And for me, my experience here I'm going to discuss has been basically with Black women, you know, whom I feel some are very insecure. Some of them who have these like supervisory type positions, managerial positions, and some of them are insecure. Some of them, I don't understand this high school behavior. I've even gone on interviews where it was kind of the same behavior. You get sized up, and then it's almost like a competition thing, or them feeling threatened for some reason. I just, you know, it could be a number of issues and reasons why. And it's just so unfortunate, family. And it's just a symptom to me that, you know, a lot of us have work to do, have inner work to do on ourselves. Sure, it's great to get out there and do things in the world and create a life and, you know, have all of the things that you want, you know. But it's also pivotal to do the work on yourself, the inner work, to heal yourself, you know, and to, like I said, go within and figure out your story. Like, where do you need to work on things within yourself? You know, see a therapist and talk it out, you know, because we all, you know, owe it to ourselves, I think, to do that. And like I said before, you know, I think it's our right as adults now. You know, you can't really, you know, take responsibility for things that happened to us as children, as kids, as teenagers. But once you become an adult and, you know, a little older, and now that you see things that are going on, you're able to know right from wrong, you know, clearly. And it's time to do the work on yourself and to look at what you're putting out there, you know, because, yeah, this mean girl behavior. I remember I had this one interview with this lady. I think she felt intimidated for some reason. And all of a sudden everything started to, you know, shifted to her attributes and all this stuff. And I've seen this time and time again, and it's just like, what is going on? I thought I was being interviewed, okay? And of course I didn't, you know, get the job or anything, but it was just, I don't know, family. It's like a competition, an undisclosed secret competition. Oh yeah. But so I was working with a company, and I was very new and interested and excited to get to you know all of what I needed to accomplish in this position. And so I'm sitting down with the supervisor, one of the supervisors, and I had not met her yet, and she seemed very nice and well spoken, but I started to see some things in her, and then some of my colleagues were kind of showing me some things too about how she is, and so I started to see them, and I'm like, yeah, I do see this. And quickly, like I said, this was my first day, and I'm looking to get the information on what's expected of me, you know, what do I need to do, blase, pertaining to the job. And that's just not what happened here. And everything quickly became about her and her life, her accomplishments, and and everything else. And I just was like, what is going on, you know? Where she went to school, we went into all that, her college years, how her family, you know, did all these things, and how she had a wonderful 30+ year marriage and had all these kids she had raised, and they're all, you know, just about finished college. And I mean, I just was like, okay, so what am I supposed to be doing? I mean, all of that is awesome, but I just didn't understand where we were going. I mean, this was like about an hour conversation about her, and how happy she was in her marriage, and how much she loved her husband, and how he always lavishes her with gifts on a daily basis, and I mean, just on and on. And family, I'm like, there is a problem. There's something going on here that is not being discussed. It's like she was overcompensating for something that she felt that was inadequate about herself, because it was absolutely not the time to go in about her personal life. Especially like I said, my first day, you know, there's time at some point where you get to know your colleagues more. You get to, you know, share a little bit about yourself and all of that stuff. But this family, and it was like on and on. The next day, the same thing, a little bit of work, you know, done, and then here we go again with all of the personal stuff and how blessed she is. And this has happened multiple times in family. Write in the comments, family, if you guys can relate to some of this. I don't understand. And so it takes me back to one of my girlfriends who told me about something similar that happened to her. But like I said, at the time, I was not in worked in an environment where I could relate to her, because I was working for myself. So, but yeah, she had a similar situation with a supervisor. She was working for the government at the time. And it was pretty much the same thing that I'm mentioning now. You know, all of the flaunting of their things, the diamond rings, and, you know, talking about their, you know, luxury vehicle. and you know, just all of it, you know, their position, you know. And my girlfriend at the time was kind of struggling. She was just yeah, she was raising her 2 kids alone because of some personal things that had transpired in her personal life. So she was basically taking care of her kids, and the money, you know, was going to that. Although she looked very well, very pretty, very attractive, nice shape, all of that. There was, you know, because the thing was, my girlfriend was like, but I don't understand. I mean, why would she be envious of me? That doesn't make any sense. Because I was, you know, telling her, I said, there has to be something that she is envious about you of. There's something going on. She said, well, she's attractive as well. I said, well, something's going on. So finally, as we talked more, I figured it out. And then she said, well, you know what? I'm always getting people coming into the office asking me about my hairstyles. And so I was on her hair at the time. And, you know, she was saying, they were like, girl, your hair is laid, girl, this and that. And she had long, thick, healthy hair and didn't have any weave or tracks or anything. I mean, she had that, you know, stopped at like the middle of her back. And, yeah, she wore a lot of crimped styles and all that. And, I mean, it was very beautiful. And so, yeah. So I figured that's probably what it was, especially when she said people would come from different offices and different floors, and they would always be like, girl, I just came down to see what kind of hairstyle you had this time, because girl, it's always laid and blah, blah, blah. And I think she told me a few times that when people would come down, she'd be like, oh. So I said, that's it. And she said, well, she does wear weave. I said, there it is. So I guess she feels like she's got everything, but she doesn't have this long, thick hair like yours. So now she's going to be mad at you because you have something that she can't attain. And I think that that's exactly what it was, family. And yeah, she continued to like be a mean girl to her, would say things that were not kind, like I said, and would continue to flaunt, you know, all of her, I guess, wins or whatever in my girlfriend's face, knowing that her situation was what it was, you know. And I just thought, wow, you know, and like again, I thought at the time that was like an isolated incident. I'm seeing that that's kind of what's going on out here a lot, not all, because I know that all women and not all black women are insecure. I know quite a few who are very successful and don't act like that. You know, they're very secure within themselves, and they have it going on. But like I said, there's some of us that have not done that inner work, and it just screams that whenever I see this behavior. And I'm just like, wow, we are like overly concerned with the things and with our external appearance. We need to do the inner work. You know, I'm thinking this to myself with some of these ladies that I've come across. And I mean, of course you can't say that because, you know, then they're going to lose their mind and, you know, all that. But yeah, family, I wanted to address this. I wanted to bring this up, talk about this topic, because it's a mess out here. I mean, in the last 5 years, I have experienced this like about, I don't know, quite a few times. And it's employers, supervisors, managers, and colleagues as well. You have friendships too. It's unfortunate, family. It really is. And it's so sad to think like, you know, wow, like this person's treating me like crap because they think I look better than them. I mean, what? They think I'm a threat because, you know, and that's a self-esteem issue. That's an insecurity. That's a personal issue. It has nothing to do with the job, nothing to do with me, and everything to do with them and their relationship with themselves. And if this is you that you know I'm speaking about, that you feel like maybe you do possess some of those issues, you know, take a good look at yourself and, you know, get a pen and paper and write out some of the problem areas you feel like you feel inferior in what areas, and then dissect that. Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, you're wrong about how you think. You know, it's probably some old stuff from your past, from your childhood, you know, when you look totally different. You know, I mean, in our teenage years, we were developing into who we are today. So, yeah, we got teased big time. We all did, okay? Some people had high pockets, had high butts and long legs, and I mean, we can laugh at that now. Some people have big foreheads, big mouth, short arms, and big boob, little boobs. I mean, we were growing. We were in the process of becoming whom we are today. So that you being teased about something from back then has nothing to do with now. You've had so many years that have passed, have grown as an individual, and learned so many things. You're not that same person anymore. So you don't have to, you know, act out in ways, where you are mean to people, and or where you're feeling like you're less than, because you're not. You're not. You got to look at things, from a positive side, where, you have accomplished. Just look at your life, all things you've accomplished and grown through and learned. That stuff, that's a lie, okay? From the pit of hell, okay? But family, yeah, just, see a therapist, talk it out, and move on with that mess. Let's love on each other and embrace each other and just be happy for each other for where they are in their lives. I mean, it's a blessing. Anyway, family, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I hope you got a little something out of today's topic. I hope you got a laugh as well. And family, I will see you on the next video. Take care.